Hey, I'm with York legend Cal Weary. Cal, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing today, Sarge?
I'm fantastic. Cal, we want to know, okay, what's your favorite part about York Fest so far?
Yesterday, Goosa Music Fest was amazing. I think it was a little loud for some folks, but for me, that's like my world. So I loved having the music playing. I really enjoy all the vendors going down the rail trail. And sometimes we've stretched in different directions with this, but going down the rail trail, just all that natural shade and the wind comes through and you get a chance to sit there and talk with people. I think it looks like something from another place when you go down through all the trees and everything. So I like that. I also like, if I'm going to say, like, I like that we got to get back around each other, My other favorite section where the kids are making their own artwork, that just runs all day. That literally could run every week, I bet. I mean, every week.
Why doesn't it?
You know why? I think it's because people forget that York should be, always a tourist trap.
And how do we get it to be that?
I think what happens is we have to find a group of people who are willing to just come out and just make it happen and not be worried about whether or not there's $1 million behind them. I mean, what it costs to buy 3 pop-up tents, which I bought, was less than $100. The tables, I own them. I own the tents now. If you just give me the space, the materials are easy to come by.
So you think we could get more folks over here by just, building the ark, I guess, and having them come by?
You're leading me with the question, Soji, but of course that's
well,
true. No, I'm messing with you. No, it's true. I mean, what you're saying, and especially when you have this kind of conversation, then you say to yourself, if we're able to do this today, and yes, we know there are a lot of moving parts to make something like this happen, but once it's already moving, what's the difference between saying it happens one day and saying it happens every Saturday or every Friday? With different people maybe taking on some of the brunt of it.
Do you have a plan right now in order to get that going?
Right now the plan is get through one of our first big opening events past COVID, and then having some conversations with some people about how we spread the love. Everybody has some skin in the game. All the different arts groups have come together to do their part, but I still feel like, even for being part of Parliament, which I'm president of Parliament, my ED took a lot on their shoulders to do this in a very short period of time.
Right.
If all the organizations really felt like they had skin in the game, and even some that weren't involved here, we could make things like this happen a lot more.
Okay.
And then the other thing that was missing from this was, so yesterday we had Goosa and we had a huge stage and big sound, and then today, we're running from my JBL, which is okay. It's a nice background sound, but honestly, we need to have a connection between for a York Fest. We need to have a connection between all the mediums. We lost our poetry this year. We need to bring that back. We need roving musicians, people on every corner, or at least every other corner with a guitar or with
you think that
drums.
is that something that's feasible within the next year?
Of course.
Okay.
Why not? I think it's the perfect time for it because people are really missing right now. They're missing.
How do we get them back involved?
I think
because at some point they were, right? At some point, some people were, and they seem to not be anymore. So how do we get them back?
it's kind of a weird thing too, because a lot of people talked a lot of smack about, oh man, I can't wait till we can be out there again and do it. But some people got really comfortable not being out there, right? I know I did. Today's been great. Yesterday's been great just to be around folks. We had a wonderful event in the city last night. There were events happening everywhere in the city last night. So many things. It was like, someone was like, oh yeah, were you at blah, blah, blah? I was like, no, I was at this. Whoa, I was over at that. It was cool. And it's not because of York Fest that all those things happened. It's just everybody wanted to be out here when we have this beautiful weather. Right. How do we get people back into it? I think we create a schedule that seems insane and find the bodies to man it. So I kind of think, like, if you look at the schedule for a year and say, we know we have First Fridays already, and First Fridays are already pretty hyped. What's my second Saturday?
But the thing is, to me, it's about trying to make things bigger sometimes.
Right.
So even if First Friday is hype, how do you make it bigger? Right? Because a lot of people who are not in the know,
right,
don't show up, right? You kind of have to. It's word of mouth, or you are within the arts community or whatever. How do you get people in Red Lion, Dover, and Manchester and all that?
But now
how do you
you're
get them
getting
into the city to appreciate
the reason
Arts Fest and York Fest and First Friday and all the other events?
So the other thing to keep in mind too is that some of this has nothing to do with advertising. Some of it has nothing to do. The advertising's out there. The social media's out there. People don't feel safe coming to our city. So if I'm gonna be, I do.
Right.
I feel safe here, and some people who are ignorant will think, oh, because you're a black dude. No, I feel safe because it's my city, and I believe all great things start. Do I think the bad things happen? Yeah, they happen everywhere.
Right.
I said, but we when we're here in numbers, it's a lot harder for those things to happen.
Okay,
we need to take that.
I hear what you're saying. But I feel like I'm sort of in the know. I'm comfortable in New York City.
Right.
But I kind of wasn't really even aware that Arts Fest was going on until Thursday night. So, for the person like me, right? How do we get the word out to folks like that who are willing to come to the city?
So the other thing that's true is the more artists we have involved, the more artists talk about it, right? So with us coming back with this festival, kind of with a much smaller footprint, there were less artists involved, less artists got the information out. We did social media, but maybe we needed to be connected to the radio. Maybe we need to, and I hate to say who needs another survey, but we need to find out where people are getting their information from. Because quite honestly, the reason why I know about this is because I'm part of one of the organizations that does this.
Right.
But those other things I was talking about that I didn't know about, like for instance, we had a gala event last night showing one of Ryan Rossum's last movies and Josh Santiago's first movie that he did with Ryan. That was it was a sold out event at the Valencia.
Mm-hmm.
As I was walking up to it, as all these young brothers and sisters walking up with their suits and stuff, I saw other people who were like, we didn't even know that event was happening, right?
I didn't.
But we sold it out. It was a sold out event,
Right.
and yet other people just didn't know about it.
Right.
So there's something that's lost in that.
Yes.
Right? So when you have an event that sells out, it's wonderful for the hundreds of people who get to go and see it. But the other part that comes from having a sold out event that everyone knows about is that then when you do another one, the people who didn't get in last time will clamor to be a part of it.
Right.
Because everyone who went to that event last night will be talking about it, right? It's almost like you wish you could have an event like that and then the next week have another event.
And how do we do that?
We do have happening
right
next Saturday.
Okay. So you have something going on next Saturday?
Right. So we did that event in the Valencia, and we showed the movie, and people paid to come see it.
Right.
Now next Saturday, we're doing an event where it's free for people to come out, and it's going to be down in Foundry Park and see the movies there. So it's open to the community.
Okay. So did you advertise some of that last night?
That was advertised last night, and then there'll be a social media blitz that's going to be happening this week. We had a kind of a special situation with that though, because of having those two events. We didn't want the two things to run into each other, so we really didn't blast out the one for Saturday. We just started advertising for that on Friday.
Okay.
So there'll be a lot more unfolding with that.
It seems like marketing, advertising, all that is a huge part of what we need to do. It's not an easy challenge, but it's one that it sounds like you're ready to take on with having more people and more groups come by. So good luck with your plans, and let the artists out there know where they can find you so that they can be part of the process.
If you don't know me, I'm Cal Weary, president of the Parliament Arts Organization. And of the board, and I'm also the CEO of the Weary Arts Group. If we've never worked together, eventually we will. But if you want to find me, you literally can put Cal Weary into your Google, and you'll get my phone number and my email and everything. It's my personal number. You go to Weary Arts Group, and you can fill out our information there, and I can get back in contact.
So Weary spelled
Weary, just like the adjective.
And Cal,
Arts Group, and I'm Cal, C-A-L. But if you put Cal Weary in, I'll pop up. It's going to be me. WearyArtsGroup.com. You can fill out our information there and tell me what you're interested in. It's really important for us to not only tell our stories, but for everyone to hear it when you tell it. There's guys walking around the street telling their story, but nobody's listening. It's time for your story to be heard.
Thank you so much. And I do, again, encourage everyone out there to be part of the arts movement. Again, even if your story is not, groundbreaking or whatever, it means something to someone, right? They can connect with it. Even if it's just a fun, funny, cutesy little story, it means something. It can encourage someone to do their own art. So please get a hold of this guy, Parliament Arts Group, right? .org.
Yep.
Parliaments.org.
Yep.
What is that?
WearyArtsGroup.com.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.